Good evening. I have one question for you. Are you an effective communicator? If you want to be a strong leader, do you know how to effectively communicate? The secret to effortless communication is not that difficult. And it's achieved with three core principles: clarity, authenticity, and intention. I'm Spanky Gibson, and I would ask you to subscribe to my channel. And also you can follow me in X at Spanky Gibson 71. And I want to thank you for being here today. By using this strategy to communicate, you will inspire, build trust, and align your team. As strong leaders, we must communicate clarity first. We have to have clear purpose in everything that we do. It's no matter what the job is. You can think of anything that you've done in the past. It could be like me. When I started out, I was in high school, I was a pizza delivery guy. What was the clear purpose? Pizza gets ordered, it gets finished, and it's handed to me. I'm given an address, and I'm given a specific time that pizza should be delivered by. And of course, the customer wants a hot pizza. It's pretty simple, right? I have clear purpose. I'm clear in what I have to do. It was simple. So as a 16-year-old kid, it was a great first job. And then as a 17-year-old kid, my senior year, I joined the Marine Corps. And you definitely have to understand that I was given 3 months of clarity and clear purpose. Secondly, I would say one of the things that we must have is we as leaders, strong leaders, we've got to be active listeners. Every team member must feel seen and heard. The newer the team member, the more focus of effort has to be given to that person. Not only from the leader, but also from everyone on the team. Who doesn't join a team and not want to feel accepted, feel part of that team? Well, how do you make them feel that way? It's through communications. Verbal, nonverbal, doesn't matter. Good communicating skills is the best way to get through, assist, and lead your team. And part of that is two-way dialogue. You can't just bark orders. You can't just direct, not lead from the front, and not listen to those team members. That's one of the biggest problems I think I see in so many jobs that I've had, especially after I retired. 20 years in the Marine Corps. After 20 plus years in the Marine Corps, it was extremely hard. Did I know how to communicate? Yes. Did I know how to be a team member? Of course. But one of the biggest problems was maybe some of the fears in those above me not communicating appropriately. And then when I would ask questions, or I would ask for, a clearer intent, I would be looked at a certain way, and that's problematic. And most of us have seen it. We see it with our kids. We tell them, yes, you can go outside, be home by this time. Yes, you can use my tools to work on your bike, but when you're done, put them back up. That's clear communication. We all do it. And sometimes I think people don't realize that communicating with family members or children or brothers and sisters is no different than being on a team in a job and being able to communicate up and down. So that two-way dialogue is key. Now, a strong leader must also be authentic. You cannot be a part of a team and not reflect the values of what you're doing. If you are strong and you're capable and you do a great job, that looks good, on your team, on yourself, and within whatever job it is. Even when someone might not like their job, but they got to pay the bills, they have responsibilities they got to take care of. They should never reflect, I don't want to be here. Who hasn't been, with their teammates on the job and someone's going through something problematic, or they maybe are at the bar all night long drinking with their friends and had to come to work and they really don't want to be there and they don't feel good. We pick up on those kind of things, and we've got to be able to help them. We've got to be able to pick up any slack they got. Those true values, those kind of things, one, makes your team look up to you. And when you're maybe not the team leader, you're able to look up to that team leader for helping you if you might have had some kind of bad moment. And that goes right into the next topic, the empathy factor. You think about having good values. Well, if you have to be empathetic with your, members of your team, when you're the leader, you have to continue to be looking out for your teammates because you want to make sure that they're performing at the level that they need to be at. They need to be able to, perform the task, and that task be above maybe what your expectation is. And then you have to look at yourself in the mirror and you have to say, okay, here's what I've been given. Well, maybe it's the time frame. Maybe you work at a plant or an industrial park, and they say you've got 8 hours to achieve these tasks. Well, some people will say, well, I'll just, do it within the 8 hours. So I'm successful at what I've been given. And then some leaders might drive you a little harder to go above and beyond that. And that might work out in the long run where you get the opportunity to step up. They get the opportunity to step in your position, or when it comes to the point that maybe it's slow and people are being sent home, that you get to be utilized in other ways so that you maintain hours and that you still can be able to achieve your responsibilities. And finally, that clear intention. Clear intention is critical. You've got to be able to clarify the goals. Be able to communicate that to everyone. And once you get those clarified and everybody has their buy-in and they understand, you've got to be able to give them desired outcomes. Kind of like the 8-hour scenario. Okay, gentlemen, ladies, we're here. We need to perform this task from this time to this time. But hey, I would like if we would step it up. Let's try to do it in 7 hours or 7.5 hours and not 8 hours. That'll make us look good, and maybe we'll have other opportunities to better ourselves or be looked at higher in the future. So, the intention and the clarifying the goals and, really communicating that desired outcome is key. Now, this is pretty simple. This strategy is not a difficult strategy to learn, and it's pretty easy to implement. It just takes practice, it takes time. But if you use this simple strategy, you will be able to effortlessly communicate, and you will definitely become a strong leader. It's not difficult. It's handled literally in less than 10 minutes right now. So if you just remember clarity, if you remember to be an active listener, to engage in that two-way dialogue, be authentic, have empathy, and be able, within your intention, to clarify those goals and give those desired outcomes, you will be an amazing communicator. You will become a strong leader. Now I would ask you, if you follow this simple strategy, you will be able to accomplish anything you put your mind to. Now, if you like this information, please like, share, subscribe, and If you really like it, I would like you to comment. If there's things you don't like about it, definitely comment. Let's have some dialogue. Let's talk about this topic, because communication within teams in a job has definitely gotten a little bit worse, I think, over time. And if you want to watch any of my other videos on leadership, and actually one of my combat videos I put up from 2006 in Iraq, you can go to one of these corners and you'll be able to link to my playlist and you'll be able to watch those videos. And I would greatly appreciate it. Help this channel grow. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.